Welcome everyone to this yoga class, which all the classes now are 40 minutes in length. So I encourage you at the end of class to take 10 minutes to rest if you have that time. It's one of the most important parts of our class in our practice, let's say in yoga, is to have that final Shavasana pose. So as we warm up, I'm just going to introduce myself. Let's start to roll our shoulders in circles, as if you're drawing circles with an imaginary crayon taped on top of your shoulders. So my name's Elaine, and it's a pleasure to be here. It's just over 17 years that I've been teaching, let's change the direction of our shoulder movement, teaching in athletics at Humber, both campuses, and really grateful we have this technology that we can continue our classes, our practices, whatever you choose to do. You can also find a lot of classes. So let's just move our knee in a circle. Come up on your toe balls. You can find a lot of classes under the videos section. In yoga, we breathe in the nose and out the nose unless you have, let's change that direction, unless you have any issues maybe with sinuses, then just the deep breath is what's really important. And let's change to the other knee. We also try to avoid large meals before exercise, yoga, at least maybe 2 hours if you have a large meal. And let's go in the other direction. And lastly, listening to your body. Let's lift our arms up and tuck your thumbs in and draw some circles with your fists. Listening to your body first, whatever you see around you when you're in a live class, and let's go in the other direction. Just do what your body allows, so we don't force anything. And the deep breath, and that's pretty much all you need to know right now. And let's just move our hips now, drawing some circles to warm up the hip flexors, joints at the top of our legs. Some movement in the ankles. And that deep breath. And let's go in the other direction. And then from here, let's move into a sun salutation. And by the way, you perhaps have some props nearby, whether it is a yoga strap, or a cloth belt, even a long scarf works. Blocks or pillows, blankets come in handy too. So as we come to the top of our mat, let's bring our feet together and come into mountain pose. So we're going to look down at our toes, lift them up, create space between them, and then rolling as you bring your toes back down with those spaces, moving up now to your thighs that you're going to roll inward. And lift up through the heart center. You can tighten all the muscles in your body right now, or not, as we come into Tadasana. One more deep breath. And then inhale, let's sweep the arms up. And exhale, swan dive. Maybe your hands come to your knees, your shins, perhaps the floor. Inhale, come up part way, flat back. Exhale, plant your palms and step or hop to plank. And as we come into plank pose, we're going to align our body like a plank of wood tipped on its side. You can move down to your knees as you now lower down towards your mat, maybe just part way. If your shoulders aren't ready for it, that's okay, they'll get there. And then exhale, coming to down dog. So moving our bodies into a pyramid alignment. And feet slightly apart. Breath is deep. Let's walk the dog, so gently press one heel, then the other toward the mat. Your middle fingers are pointing straight ahead. And then come down to your knees. And as we move ourselves into table, let's exhale as we curve our spine up to the ceiling. And on the inhale, lift your tailbone and look forward. Exhale to cat stretch. And inhale to cat lift. So this is always an option over down dog. If you're not feeling that pose today, just come to table, modify whatever way. Then let's move ourselves back, opening up our knees, and bring yourself all the way to your mat. So your forehead on your block, pillow, or mat. And you might be sitting on your heels. Taking another deep breath in child pose. Also an option to come to child anytime. And then moving forward, let's come into dolphin. So we're going to bring our shoulders above our elbows. Reach across to your elbows for alignment. Bring your palms together, your hands together. Curl your toes under and lift up to dolphin. So now you're bearing weight through the forearms. Also an option if you have any conditions in the hands and wrists. Coming up on your toes, and let's move our heels from one side to the other. Just a nice wave-like movement happening in the spine. And then come down to your knees again. Moving forward into plank and downward dog. On the next exhale, come up on your toes, bend the knees, and step forward with one foot. So we're coming into high lunge. Now, if you just want to stay here with your hands on blocks or pillows, otherwise, you can also bring your back knee down. So let's see if we can rise up. Find your balance and maybe falter. Bring your palms together at the heart center. And take a deep breath. Front knee stacked over ankle. And then bring your opposite elbow. So I have my left leg forward. I'm going to bring my right elbow above my knee. And I'm going to press my palms together, aligning our arms, our forearms. Top elbow pointing to the ceiling. And take a deep breath. Maybe look up. Or just out to the side. Let's come back, and we're going to bring now the back foot forward and step back with the other foot. Now, if you want to come to low lunge here, trying that out, it's a lot easier as far as balancing is concerned. And you can bring your palms together. Take a deep breath. And then let's bring the opposite elbow above our knee. Palms together. Just do what you can. Coming into a twist. Whether it's from low or high lunge, twisting's an awesome pose in yoga. And then come all the way back. And let's bring that front knee back. Coming all the way to table again. As we lift one leg into tiger. So this is where you want to be sure you have plenty of room around you. Check your space. Lifting one leg up. Exhale, draw your knee toward your face. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Sunbird or tiger. And one more. Bring your knee down and let's lift the other leg. And exhale, knee to face. You could be in dolphin arms here. Just flow and move with your breath. And coming back to our knees, let's draw some circles with our hips. Perhaps flow forward as you inhale and flow back as you exhale. Let's go in the other direction. And then moving into downward dog again as we finish our little sequence that included our sun salute. Let's come up on our toes, bending the knees, and step, walk, hop toward the top of your mat. Straightening your legs as we come into forward fold, Uttanasana. So your hands might be at your knees, your thighs, or perhaps blocks on the floor. And just enjoy this stretch as we move our weight. So your body weight is gently shifting over the soles of your feet as we sway a little bit forward and back. And then bend the knees, come up with head and arms hanging. So we've been inverted for a little while. I just want to come out of this pose in a more gentle approach. Anytime you come out of an inversion, you can come out that way. And when you feel, you can look forward. So in other words, if anyone feels dizzy, that's a great way to come out of an inversion. Moving now into Warrior B. Let's bend the knees and step back with one foot. Aligning front toes straight ahead, back toes angling toward the top of the mat. Arms in T position, and as you bend your front knee, let's line up our arms as we look back, straightening the back leg, press your heel down into the mat. And then Exalted Warrior, slide the back hand down the back leg. Inhale, Warrior B. Peaceful Warrior, reach your hand around your back. So the back hand reaching around, and then arms in T position again. Coming into side angle Parshvakonasana. So let's just place our forearm on the front thigh. Point your fingers to the floor of the other arm, reach up and across. Now you might be bringing your hand all the way to the floor, or press against your thigh, your knee, to open up through the hips, breathing deeply. Reach through your fingertips, and then draw that circle down again, and Warrior B. Straightening front leg, reach across the room with your front hand. Bring your hand to your shin, or maybe press the top of your hand against your calf. Start to twist to look up to the ceiling, and then raise your upper arm as we come into triangle, Trikonasana. And then lower the arm and Warrior B again. Let's step to the top of our mat. And now bend the knees and step back with the other foot. Coming into the same sequence now as we can move into Warrior B. So we have our front knee stacked over our ankle, arms aligned, and then Exalted Warrior. Slide the back hand down the back leg, front arm reaching up and over. Warrior B again, and then Peaceful Warrior. So we're going to bring that front arm up and over, and now back hand around the back. So that same hand that slid down your leg is now reaching behind your back for Peaceful Warrior. And Warrior B again. Parshvakonasana. So side angle pose. Reach across your ear with your top arm. Perhaps use the top of your lower hand. So not the palm, but rather the top of your hand pressing against the inside of your thigh. Take a deep breath as you stretch through your body, straightening the back leg. And then lower the arm. So we came into that a little different. It's okay. You can always come into a pose your way. Straighten the front leg. And then reach out with the front hand for triangle. Bring it down. Hold on to your shin. Press the top of your hand against your calf, whatever you choose. Now point the fingers of your free hand, your upper arm, that is now going to draw a circle back and perhaps align that arm with the lower arm. Breathing deeply. Maybe you have your hand on the floor. Maybe you're doing reverse triangle. And then lower the arm. And let's come all the way to the top of our mat. So if you have water handy, you'd like to have a sip of it. Let's open up our feet hip width apart. As we inhale, reaching up, stretch through your fingertips. And then lowering down now. Bring your hands to wherever they reach. Uttanasana. Bending the knees. Take hold of your elbows and move your head as though you're saying no. Just a little movement for the neck vertebrae. And then as though you're saying yes. Then bring your hands to your blocks or mat and step back with one foot as we come into pyramid. So we're going to start to pulse the front leg. If you can straighten it, that's where the props come in handy too. And then, now that you've got your leg to the point, so you might be using, again, your blocks. You've got a couple of heights for your blocks. Makes it easier to straighten that front leg. And then start to lower your body as your legs form the pyramid, and perhaps you get close to your front leg. Lowering down. Then come down to the back knee. And once again, we are opening through the hips. Now this time, we're going to lower ourselves back toward our back foot, straightening the front leg, lift your toes. Then come all the way to low lunge. Then move back again, foot flexed, toes lifted. And then move forward again. So our low lunge. This time now as we lower ourselves back, maybe sitting on that back heel, and then begin to slide. Front leg forward. So coming into monkey, which is also known as the splits. And you may be miles away from your mat, it doesn't matter. Just do what you can, enjoy this deep stretch as you breathe into it. Then slide that leg back, maybe have to move around a little, and we're going to bring the front leg forward, or the opposite leg forward to the front, into our low lunge. Then come up to standing, and let's do our pulse here for pyramid. Now perhaps you can straighten both legs and lower down. Just enjoy this stretch. Preparing ourselves for monkey, and then come down to the back knee. And let's pulse again. This time that front leg is just going to straighten as you move toward your back heel. Flex your toes. And then let's slide that front foot forward as we come into Hanumanasana. Monkey. Breathing deeply. And then slide your foot back, bring it back, however you need to. And let's come to sitting. So let's just release the muscles, the hips, by bringing the soles of your feet together, up toward your body, up toward the perineum. Now move your legs like butterfly wings. So just a gentle butterfly movement in this pose called cobbler. And then from here, let's come down to our back. Keep your knees bent as you now lift up and place both hands under your butt. So you've got your palms on the mat, probably thumbs touching. Hug your body with your elbows. And then as you straighten your legs, point your toes. And now lift up. So you're pressing into your forearms to lift your chest and look overhead. Matsyasana, fish pose. Breathing deeply. And then slowly come back. Bring your knees to your chest and hug them. So we're going to come up to standing again and do our Sun Salute B. Surya Namaskar B. But first let's just massage our back. And then as you raise one arm, if you can, or just have your arm out to the side, and roll on top of it so that your ear is now on top of that arm, as if it's a pillow. Knees are bent. Stretch out your top leg and then come into just pushing up through the arms to come up to sitting. So from here we're going to move into standing at the top of our mat. Maybe have another sip of water. Palms come together at the heart center. And as we inhale, sweep the arms up. And actually, keep your hands together and bend your knees and point your fingers to the floor. I was just going to go straight into Sun Salute A. So now we have our knees bent, palms together. As we inhale, let's encircle the sun with our arms. Palms come back together, straightening the legs and lower down to forward fold. Inhale, come up part way. And exhale, plant the palms, step or hop to plank. Lowering down in chaturanga, reverse push-up. Elbows in, upward dog. So press into your hands and lift up. And then curl the toes under, moving to down dog. Turn your left heel toward your right foot. Step forward with your right leg. Come all the way up to Warrior A. In Warrior A, we square the hips forward. Reach up to the ceiling if you can. If your arms need you to, your shoulders dictate that you can't reach up, just do something else. Even bring your palms to your chest together in our prayer seal. And then let's do our football field or football goalpost arms, cactus arms. As we inhale, raise your arms, open up your fingers, straighten front leg, exhale, come back to our combination warrior with cactus arms. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. Then let's come down to the mat, into our plank, chaturanga, lower down, maybe just part way, and inhale, upward dog. Curl the toes under to downward dog. Turning the right heel toward the left foot, stepping forward with the left leg. Push yourself up through the arms and come into Warrior A. Strong and straight back leg, front knee stacked, hips face forward. Cactus arms, fist hands. Inhale, pulse, reach up. Straighten front leg, exhale. Keep moving with your breath. This can be a very strong flow movement if you keep all the muscles tight. And then let's come into plank, chaturanga, upward dog, curl the toes under, downward dog. 5 deep breaths. And if you'd like to follow me, let's lift one leg up, tap your toe, and now draw a circle 3 times each direction. Flow with your breath. Be sure you have the space. And when you're done that foot, that leg, come to the other side. Maybe a large circle, maybe just a small circle. 3 in each direction. And then come down to your knees. Let's move ourselves into rabbit. So we're just going to bring the crown of our head to the mat. Hips remain in the air. Arms can just be alongside your head, or you might be reaching back, placing your fingers on your ankles or your heels. And then let's come to table. And we're just going to move one knee forward. It could be behind your wrist or to the edge of your mat. And as you start to adjust, so you might want to just sit down right now, and maybe your foot is straight across and out from the knee, or maybe you're actually even sitting on that front bent leg. As we move ourselves into pigeon. So just do what you can. If you're even sitting on your thigh, that's okay too, especially if you can't bend your knee very well. And then from here, we're going to lower down. So you have your back leg stretched out and you're on the top of your toes. And maybe you have one fist on the other, rest your forehead there. Maybe one palm on the other, or perhaps forehead already on the mat or your block or pillow. And just enjoy this deep hip opener, which is Royal Pigeon. Breathing deeply, send your breath to those areas that might be tense. Think of your breath as this warm energy just softening those muscles and joints. And even if you still feel tension, just say to yourself, my hips are relaxed, my leg is relaxed, whatever area you're feeling. And then slowly come back up to table. Slide that front knee back. And now, other knee. So again, you could just be sitting on your side. And from there, you're going to then move into pigeon. As you lower down, and just bring your head to your prop or whatever it is. Breathing deeply. And slowly come back up, or stay there for a couple more breaths if you want to feel perhaps still the same stretch on that side. We're going to take a seat. When you're ready, join us to stretch your legs out in front of you. And then let's open up our legs. So like a V formation. Arms reaching up. Palms out. Flex our toes. Exhale. Hinging forward. So we already prepared for this stretch with our pigeon pose. And maybe with each exhale, you can slide your fingers a little further forward. You could also hold on to your feet. Some of you might be lying on top of your mat comfortably. You could just close your eyes and imagine yourself doing that as we visualize ourselves in the full expression of this pose. And then sliding your hands all the way back. Bring your feet together and take hold of your strap. So now we're going into Paschimottanasana, stretching the back of our body. This helps to prepare us for Shavasana, our final resting, lying on our back pose. As we raise our arms, maybe with our scarf or a strap, you might need to bend your knees at first to just position it around the toe balls. And then as you slowly pulse again into our forward fold, neck is relaxed, stretching through the back of your heels. Flex your feet if you're not holding on to them or using a strap. Feel that all the way up through the hamstrings. The 3 sets of muscles in your butt, lower, middle, upper back, shoulders, arms, and your neck is relaxed. Take another deep breath. And then bring your fingers to the mat and slowly slide along to come up to sitting. Let's cross our legs and just bring your hands to your knees. Close your eyes for a moment and empty your lungs completely as you press your navel back towards your spine. And then on the inhale, let's count in seconds. And as you exhale, see if you can breathe out a little longer in seconds. And then let's do a Kundalini breath work. It's also a liver cleansing breath. So we're going to bring the hands on top of the knees. Sitting tall, take a deep breath. And then as you exhale, look down so you're curving your spine outward, coming into flexion. Inhale, lift up through the heart center, arching your back. And if you can, look up. Exhale. So we're doing 7 of these complete breaths. Breath 3. 4. 5. Some nice extension and flexion of the spine. 6. And breath 7. And then stretching out one leg. Position your foot to the inside of your thigh or calf as you bend one leg and position your foot. I left that part out, but I think you can see it. Now you can hear it. So bending your knee and position your foot to the inside of the other leg that's stretched out. Flex your foot of that stretched out leg. Inhale, reach up with both arms. And now we're going to turn toward the bent knee. Bring your front arm somewhere above the knee or on top of the knee. Other arm behind you. So we are in Janusirsasana, the beginning of that pose. And coming into a twist, a seated twist. Sitting tall. Notice if you're slouching or leaning. And just try to elongate through the spine up toward the ceiling. Looking over your shoulder. And slowly come back. And let's bend the other knee now. So just straighten the other leg, flex your foot, and then bring your palms together. Inhale, reach up. Let's approach this a different way. Turn to look over your bent knee. Position front hand on that knee. Back arm supporting you as you sit tall and look out over your shoulder. Breathing deeply. Maybe deepening the twist. So twisting helps to relieve anxiety, even more so than all the poses you've done today. Every pose you did today helps with anxiety. Twisting goes a little further. Also, stress relief. Some relief, mild depression relief. So we're now going to just sit tall and flex and point. One foot, then the other. You can do this at the end of Shavasana after you sit up, just to wake up your legs. As we come to lying down, you may have a pillow, a thin blanket under your head. Opening up your feet to the corners of your mat. And then just arms out to the sides, somewhere between your hips and shoulders. So we're just going to let everything go. As you close your eyes, saying the following words in your own mind. My face and my neck are completely relaxed. I release all the muscles in my chest and my back. My arms and my shoulders feel warm and heavy. abs and my glutes are completely relaxed. I release all the muscles in my legs and my feet. As you relax now, focusing on your deep breath, perhaps say the sound of the breath, which was determined many, many years ago to be the sound so as you're inhaling. So you could draw the word out or just say so as you inhale. And on the exhale, hum. Sounds like hum a tune, spelt like H-A-M. So hum. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, starting to move your hands and feet. And gently bending your knees, draw them up to your chest. You could rock a little side to side. If you're staying in Shavasana, this will be how you can gently come out of it. And then raise one arm and roll on top of it with your ear on top of it as if it's a pillow. Straightening your top leg and just gently pressing up through the arms with eyes closed now. Come up to sitting cross-legged. As we bring our palms together at the heart center, I'd like to thank you all for joining me today or in the video. And until we meet again, the word we say to acknowledge the goodness we know exists in all of us is Namaste. May you have a wonderful week and continue moving.